So the second or official trailer for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness released a couple days ago, and with it released the movie poster, which looks fantastic. But it looks like there are a couple of details that are in the movie poster that potentially give us more insight as to what else we may see in the movie. So if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. So there's going to be three main things that I point out if you zoom in real close, and two of them are obviously more well defined. The last one is a big reach that I've seen people do, but I'll obviously still talk about it. So the first one, if you zoom into the bottom right of the poster, you see a glass fragment that has the reflection of Captain Carter's shield in it. So this obviously more or less confirms that Captain Carter will be in the movie at one point or another, which honestly isn't that surprising because there was rumors going around before, especially when What If was actively debuting, that characters from What If could potentially cross over into live action in general. Not necessarily just Multiverse of Madness, but just in general, we could potentially see live action versions of characters in What If, which is potentially confirmed from the evil Doctor Strange that we've been seeing in the trailer. Now, I'm honestly leaning more towards the fact that that's not the same Strange Supreme that we saw in What If, but it's at least a similar type of call out because that Strange obviously turned bad after a while, but he's obviously redeemed himself a little bit with what happened in What If. But this definitely confirms one way or another that Captain Carter will be involved in the movie in some way. So if you have not watched What If yet, I highly suggest you go back and do so, simply to get ready if any of the other characters in What If cross over. The second area you can turn your attention to is to the slight top left of Doctor Strange. You see a glass shard with a big eye in the center of it. Now, realistically, I think this is actually meant to represent more so as, I think it's literally Gargantos or Shumagorath's eye itself, but I think it obviously has an even deeper meaning than that, which is what a lot of people caught on to faster anyway, is that it looks like the Eye of Providence, which is the representation of the real-life quote-unquote Illuminati, if you're into all those conspiracy theories and stuff. So the universal symbol of the real-life Illuminati is the Eye of Providence, which is the eye in the middle of the pyramid on top of the dollar on the top of the pyramid, and this is obviously a big eye in the center of an almost perfect triangular glass shard. So I think that is very, very easily meant to reference the Illuminati, which is a real thing in Marvel Comics, and it looks like they're going to be in this movie. For those of you who are not familiar with the Illuminati in Marvel Comics is a secret organization, but not like in a conspiracy theory type way in Marvel Comics, but it's a secret organization comprised of all of the big Marvel elites like Doctor Strange, Tony Stark, Black Panther, Black Bolt, Namor, Professor X, and so on. And it's basically just a group where they confer whenever there's like a big apocalyptic problem, where they decide what the course of action will be to save their planet and their reality and stuff like that. So that's what the Illuminati is, and it very, very, very clearly looks like we are going to get the Illuminati in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, especially in the trailer. We saw Doctor Strange under arrest, and he was being escorted by what looked like Ultron bots, and then he said he was spoken to by Professor X, Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart, who said, "I think it's time we tell him the truth." And there were like 6 chairs in that little kind of hearing, kind of court hearing almost, that he was a part of. So I think that very, very easily shows us that that's the Illuminati, and they're going to be involved in this movie in some way. I should say the only difference, though, is that there are different multiversal groups, but usually there's an Illuminati on like a singular planet Earth. So this is almost like a multiversal Illuminati as to what they're going for, it looks like. Now, the last thing that's potentially on this poster, and this is the one that is a stretch in my opinion, but it's still very, very possible, especially with Patrick Stewart coming back as Charles Xavier. But if you look more in the top left above Doctor Strange, there is a very tiny piece of glass that is smaller than all of the bigger ones. And if you zoom in really closely, the image on the glass looks like it's Deadpool. And it looks like it's Deadpool doing the classic shushing pose that he has done in many, many, many art styles, in many different photo shoots and promotional materials and stuff like that. So it's very, very possible. But honestly, this is also one of those things where it's still very hard to tell through this shard of glass. So I'm not really one way or another about thinking that this is as Deadpool in this shard of glass. Now, I'm obviously not opposed to Deadpool being in the movie, and I still think it's actually very likely for him to show up in the movie, but I just don't know if this is him in this shard of glass right here. Although it is strange that it does look like a face and like a person and stuff like that, and it does resemble Deadpool's main colors, so it is all very possible at the end of the day. I mean, this is also just like the debate on whether or not the person with the binary powers was superior Iron Man Tom Cruise, or whether it was Maria Rambeau Captain Marvel. I mean, I'm neither here nor there on that, because it could go either way depending on which shot you look at. But I digress. Comment down below if you think that shard of glass looks like Deadpool or not, and I appreciate you for watching the video.